Hi, right, I'm here with Louise, one half of Lee and Louise Trowbridge. Hi, Louise.
Hello.
Louise, I know I've reluctantly, like everybody, I've reluctantly got you here today. But this is really, really appreciated because we're going to do an interview for people looking to join the franchise, just doing their exploring. So I'm sure, you would have appreciated this when you first started. So thank you for that. So let's start with just a very quick bio, nice and loud if you can. Just tell us, sound like Cilla Black here, but just tell us who you are, what did you do before you joined the travel franchise?
So I was in HR before I joined. I just thinking, God, it feels like another life now. I had like a normal corporate job. So did Lee. We were both working. He was in IT, and then we had. I guess that was just our normal jobs, and then we met David Walker, a fellow franchisee, on the beach in Jamaica one day, and the rest is history.
Well, I was coming for that, and it's a fascinating story, isn't it? Because 99% of people who join us, they Google us, they're looking for something. But you met in a bar in Jamaica, yeah.
Literally in a bar, yeah. So we were actually on our honeymoon, and it had started, like, it rained, so we all went to the bar and then just started chatting to David. And at the time I was looking for a self-employed opportunity. I'd explored like a pet services kind of business at that point, but decided like probably the money wasn't really there to make it worthwhile. So met David, and he also had a HR background randomly. So we just were chatting and clicked, and I think within 6 weeks of our honeymoon, I was sat in head office in Bournemouth doing initial training. So it all happened very fast.
Okay, so you've got a fascinating story to tell, so let's stay on this for a little sec. So did you have any idea before meeting David there was such a thing as being a home-based travel agent?
No, not at all. It never even crossed my mind. I knew that when I was looking for a self-employed opportunity, it would either need to involve animals or travel. That was
Right.
literally, those were the two things. And I'd started with animals and written it off, but hadn't really got any further with exploring travel. So in my case, I feel like it found me, actually, on the beach.
Yeah. So you didn't want a wheelie bin cleaning franchise or not like that, no?
No, or an oven cleaning franchise, or...
Imagine. Okay, so you've met David. He's obviously now for those that don't know, David is our top earning franchisee. So he's done 23 million in sales, which is phenomenal. So I'll bet you he told a good story and made it sound great.
Yeah, it might have also been the cocktails, but yeah, it came across very well.
Yeah. So you 6 weeks later, you're in Bournemouth. So you've come home, you've watched the Discovery tour like everybody does. You've seen all these videos, you've spoke to some strange Scouser who you've never met before. You've parted with your money. What was the emotions? What was the feelings like at the time? Were you dead excited, nervous?
Yeah, really excited because I was so fed up of my corporate life. Like I had quite a important job, so I was like doing a lot of things for a lot of people, and I just hated it. Like I always thought like being successful meant freedom in my corporate job, but it just meant I had a bigger salary that I then couldn't walk away from, but a lot of like boring responsibility. So I was just so excited to have the freedom. And like in my case, I was the only member of my family that wasn't self-employed at that point. So I could see, how everyone else was scheduling their time and the flexibility they had and stuff. And I thought, oh yeah, I can't wait to be out of the 9 to 5.
Do you know what? That resonates with me as well, because I remember it took me 18 months to get a promotion at Barclays, and the reward was £1,000 a year gross, not even net, gross, like 2p a week. And then you're not expected to go home at 5 o'clock, so all this extra responsibility. I was like, oh my God, why have I gone for this? So yeah, I feel the pain there. And obviously, family full of entrepreneurs, so it's horrible when you've got friends and family who are not in that 9 to 5, 20 days
Yeah.
a year holiday, isn't it? You
Well,
know,
even now, like when it comes to booking a holiday, like if me and David are going away somewhere, and we're going with some other friends, me and him will be like, oh yeah, like let's just book it. And then our friends are like, oh, hang on, I've got to get the leave approved from work. And I'm like, oh, all right, yeah, okay, do that.
so you've done your training. What when you came out of training, what was? Oh, before I go to there, sorry. When you started, were you full time or part time?
Part time.
So you were still working in the HR role.
Yeah, so it was obviously like full-time job,
Yeah.
working in the evenings in my lunch break. I remember stealing time to go into a meeting room in the office to call a supplier, and the head of HR walked past me and waved, and I was talking to US Air Tours or something, and I thought, oh my God, I'm about to get busted, but it was fine.
And how long did that last? How long was it before you made the?
I did it for 9 months, and then I think Lee joined me maybe 6 months after that.
Right. Okay. Great. That's great, because there's a lot of people who will start part time. I reckon we don't really keep a stat on this, but I reckon as much as 70 to 75% of people who join us start part time. And people always ask me, is it possible? You know, and Lou, let's be clear. You know, because the beauty of our business, I think, is we're honest. You know, it's like we tell people as it is. You know, we don't say, oh yeah, it's dead easy. You know, if it's part time, because you are restricted, aren't you? But the honesty is it's restricted and it's harder. But the other side of the honesty is it's definitely doable, because so many people do, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you will feel super busy because you're spinning extra plates, like if you're working full time especially. But then when you actually take the plunge and then you're doing this full time, you'll actually think, oh my gosh, I'm actually not that busy, because you don't necessarily have enough at that point to fill a full-time job, but you then will. Like you then have the headspace and the time to crack on. But I remember that first Monday when I was like out of my employed job and I was like running this business myself, and I was thinking, oh gosh, I've only got 3 things to do today. But had I been working in my other job, it would have felt like loads. But then that just frees you up to get your head down, and you just got to get on with it then.
Yeah, yeah. I bet you wish you only had 3 things to do now, don't you?
That would be nice, yeah.
So you joined as an elite and you paid in full, which means you can go for what's called our money back challenge, which you referenced earlier. And that means if you hit a certain amount of sales in your first year, we give you your 15 grand back as well. So we give you your franchise fee back. So you guys hit that, yes?
Nope.
Oh, you didn't hit it? Oh, okay. See, I tell you, these aren't recorded. Okay.
No,
So,
we weren't even close.
all right. So, okay. So that's good then in many ways, given what's coming next. So the money back challenge is fantastic in terms of it's great focus and incentive for the first year. But I always say to people, it's not the be all and end all, because this is a marathon, not a sprint. And we're going to talk about, what you guys have achieved. So, the 15 grand is insignificant compared to that. So okay. So you're doing it part-time then for the first year. What would you say to everyone listening is your learnings, findings for year 1?
So for year 1, I would say I describe our activity as poking it with a stick. So we knew what we were supposed to do because we couldn't get away from it. You wouldn't stop telling us what we had to do. But we weren't doing it, and it was because we were afraid, in all honesty. I remember you always said, oh, not just travel consultants, like the secret police, like, because they never want to talk to anyone. And I thought, yeah, like we were just really nervous about what to do. And in all honesty, we got to that 11 months in the Millionaires Retreat, and we were ready to actually walk away. We were gonna leave, and I knew we had the trip coming up. And David said to me, "Look, what have you got to lose? Like, come to Mallorca, like have the experience." And I remember thinking, if I turn up in Mallorca and I haven't done any of what Paul said, like he's gonna put me over the coals. So we spent the week before millionaires, calling people and speaking to people. And I remember doing I think it was a 6K booking in Mallorca that came off the back of my calls, and I thought then, like, oh gosh, like he's actually right. And I don't like to give you credit for that, but it's true. So then we came back from Millionaires, and that was probably like mid-October, so we knew that Peaks was coming in January. And at that point, Lee and I said, we've got nothing to lose. We were going to leave anyway, so why don't we spend the next 6 weeks trying? And then that January, we did our first 100K month off the back of
Right, okay. Well, Lou, you know, we keep these, you know, very real, and they're not practiced. You know, I to be honest with you, I did think you guys would have won it, but I'm so glad you're saying those things, because, you know, the truth is the truth. And yes, you know, it's not pay you 15 grand and a guarantee you're going to be a millionaire. You've got to work at it. It's hard for those first, I always say 18 months.
Yeah.
18 months, you build the business, you build yourself, your knowledge, your skills, your relationships, your systems, your contacts, everything else. And then after 18 months, rather than building, then you manage, which is very different. Is that fair?
Oh, absolutely. I think, that first year and a half, that's fair to say, that you're trying to get to grips with everything, because you don't know what you don't know, and you don't have to know everything either. That's the other side of things. Like, I think some people feel like, oh, I haven't been to this destination, I can't talk about it. But we have the tour operators for that. You've just got to kind of get your ducks in a row, and establish those relationships. And in the end, the biggest thing that we used to get us over the fear of talking to people was we came up with a survey. It was 5 questions, and I literally would message someone, say on Facebook, and say, I've just started a new travel business and I'm just trying to get some info on people's booking habits. Would you mind if I gave you a call to ask you the questions? I said, it's literally like yes or no answers. It will take 5 minutes. And if we even got to the questions when I had the call, it would just be like, where did you last go? How did you book it? Like, how far in advance did you book it? You know, I wasn't writing the answers down. It wasn't important, but it just led to bigger conversations with people. And I'd finish the call by saying, oh, if you hear of anyone that is looking for a holiday, I'd love it if you could pass my details over. So I never asked them to talk to me about their holidays. And there was no like hard sell. I wasn't saying, oh, I can do this. We've got 450 suppliers. We're Atoll and Nabta protected. Like there was none of that. It was just like, oh, you know, this is what I'm doing, and you know, it's going really well, and blah blah blah. But you know, we need people to talk to. So if you can help me, then great. And we started with like immediate friends and people we had strong relationships with, and then by the end of it, I was talking to people I went to junior school with when I lived in Hong Kong. Like it was like really stretched the boundaries, because it was all right by then. You know, we were kind of happy to do it. And even now, the person I'm referring to from junior school, I booked him last year in the end. So like 7 years later. But the conversations resonate with people. It doesn't mean that they're necessarily ready to give you an inquiry there and then, but like those things sink in with people, and they do remember.
And again, how many customers have you got, Lou? Just again, you might not know the answer to top of your head, roughly.
I don't know. I know we've done over 2,000 bookings, but I don't know how many customers. There's obviously repeats in there as well.
Yeah, so with repeats in them, let's guess 800, let's say, right? But if someone's watching at home now, they're going to think, well, I don't know 800 people. But nor did you?
Oh no, I've booked a friend of a friend, and then her mum, and then her cousin, and then her hairdresser. You know, like I've had referrals come via Australia before from someone I knew that knew someone somewhere in the UK. Like, you don't have to know the people, you just have to start the conversations. Yeah, no, absolutely, because that's a big thing. You know, it's exciting, and it's fair to say you don't need millions of customers either, do you? I mean, no.
We've said 800 there for you, but you've earned, you know, £1 million, but not everyone wants to earn that amount of money. So I always say 100, 200 customers over time, you're going to earn a great income, aren't you? Because then you'll get repeats and referrals from that as well.
You get repeats, and then you can't not get referrals. Like, it makes me laugh. I get people say to me all the time, "Oh, I hope you don't mind, but I've passed your number to so-and-so." And I'm like, why would I mind? Like, it's literally my job. And, you know, saying to them, please, like, share it with as many people as you can. So you can't stop it. It's like a snowball. Like, you just build momentum, and then you get to a point where even if you did nothing, you would still get a certain amount of business walk through the door.
I know it's the busiest time of the year. Thank you so much for giving up some of your time. We really appreciate it. I'm sure the people at home watching this is going to help give them comfort and confidence and clarity of what it's all about, and help them make a decision. So thank you. I'll let you go on and carry on making your millions.
No worries, Paul. Thanks.